911 operator 7214. What is the location of your emergency? All right, you need police, fire, or ambulance?
I need an ambulance.
Tell me exactly what happened.
My boyfriend, he's been asleep on the couch since this morning. Well, he never came to bed last night. Sleep on the couch. I left him on the couch before I took my son to school this morning, put a blanket over him. And now I just checked on him again because he never got up. I don't feel a heartbeat. I don't see him breathing.
Bro, hip-hop culture got blood on their hands this morning, you heard me? Straight up. When Rich Homie Quan passed away and all these people want to act like they sad, man, stop faking, man.
Drugs is not a new thing, bro.
No,
it's not a new thing.
That would never be what I would say, but I think about some of my favorites that I've lost to drugs.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I don't, and I also see, working with artists, I see when that becomes a crutch. I see when you start getting the guys who can't brush their teeth without doing something. They don't want to go on stage, they don't want to go in the studio, sitting there trying to work with them. They're like, let me just do this one more thing, and then I'm gonna come back in and work, and that just starts looking like a crutch. And it never,
becomes a crutch.
It never ends. It rarely ends well.
He called it.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
First and foremost, let me start off this video by saying, rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. Rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. I send my condolences to his family, his loved ones, those who were in his life that actually cared about him as a human being, not just the artist, but as a human being. I want to say rest in peace and I send my condolences. If you don't know who Rich Homie Quan is, or was, he is a rapper who became popular during the late teens, I believe around 2019, early 2020s, in the hip hop / rap community with his melodic, pain, soulful music. And I would be lying and I would be a hypocrite if I sat here and I said that during that time in my life, if a lot of his music, not just some of it, but if a lot of his music wasn't the soundtrack to my life. I mean, that first mixtape, I believe, is I Promise I Will Never Stop Going In. It was either that one or the reloaded version. I mean, when you talk about all those records, I mean, he was extremely talented, extremely gifted. Rich Homie Quan was also a rapper who was no different from other rappers in the sense of his topics, right? While all of his music didn't glorify the detrimental things that we tend to glorify in the community, like drug culture, like gang culture, all of his music wasn't about that, but a great deal of his music was. And believe it or not, this video is actually not going to be about that. This video isn't going to be about how hip-hop culture and the black community have blood on their hands because we typically glorify and encourage this sort of lifestyle.
Bro, hip-hop culture got blood on their hands this morning, you heard me? Straight up. When Rich Homie Quan passed away and all these people want to act like they sad, man, stop faking, man. How you sad, but then you want to profit off of the same culture that glorifies this lifestyle where we celebrate drug use, we celebrate selling drugs. And if you sad, are you sad enough to go against the culture and to say, well, we need to change the culture. We need to call that out. A lot of people ain't that sad because they ain't gonna call it out. A lot of these industry people, you're not that sad. Like, how you sad at the effect, but you're not sad at the cause, you heard me? So you want to celebrate the cause, but then you want to cry over and be sad over the effect? That don't match up, man. That's cognitive dissonance, you heard me? That's willful ignorance. That's not implying that it's sincere. Because if it was sincere, it's like at a certain point, we got to go against that stuff. It's time to throw the whole culture away and start from scratch. And keep what's healthy about it, but get rid of all this negative, fake sadness and sentiments and toxicity that we glorify, bro.
The video isn't going to be just about that. The video is actually going to be about how this guy actually predicted, I won't say he predicted Rich Homie Quan's demise, so to speak, but he definitely predicted the typical outcome right there in Rich Homie Quan's face during an interview about why it is that he was glad that Rich Homie Quan steered away from drugs, because it only ends one way. And he was praying for Rich Homie Quan. He prayed for people like that they're able to overcome. Unfortunately, as of right now, in the news that we have, Rich Homie Quan passed away from an overdose. And so once again, I want to send my condolences, but I also want to react to this video because when I was a kid, I actually thought that the only people who glorified those sort of childish and silly things were children, were young people. until I became an adult, and I realized a lot of times when we have conversations about this, we joke about it far too often. Even if that addiction is in a person's past, if you don't know, a common saying in the community of people who have been addicts, they say you don't use the term former addict, because you're always an addict, because all it takes is one pill, all it takes is one drink, all it takes is one slip up, and you're right back in it. So you take it one day at a time, and you don't say former addict, you say that you're still an addict, right? Because when you have that mindset, you understand you have to always take it serious going forward, right? And when I listened to this conversation, it was an interview that Rich Homie Quan gave a couple of years ago, about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, with Matt Hoffa. It didn't sit easy with me the way they talked about it, right? I think they took it serious. Some of the people in that room took it serious, but Matt Hoffa in particular, it just didn't sit right with me, right? So let's react to this video together. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Really hit that like button if you don't mind. I would really, really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's tap in.
Right. But I'm still going to Dubai. You know what I mean? Dubai gonna give me more than that, so I'm doing Dubai's and all that. But now me and Fly ain't talking because of the litigation, man. Fly not talking at all. You know what I'm saying? I can't drop no music. My show money down. Man, I got a dark cloud over my head, bro. I probably was the person. I would definitely say I probably was the lowest I was in my life. Cause you got to think, man. I went from here to here fast. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I blame myself, and it's growth, and I know it was my fault. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I might have said some shit 6 years ago in the interview, or cussing nigga out, and I ain't that same Quan no more because like I've grown. So even if I did, I had to tell a nigga, man, don't fault me for that, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm growing, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know like.
Was it drugs involved?
Oh hell yeah, man! I was on Molly every day. Oof. But listen, geeked up. Bite down. Listen, I'm talking, bro, I felt like I couldn't do a show or a song without being on Molly.
When did that start? When did the habit start?
When the habit started, shit. On the road, when I first got the road, on the road, the $800 show, I ain't drink no liquor, no lean, no none of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Shit, after before some type of way, we was doing so many shows, I couldn't stay up. Mm-hmm. So I knew some people like, bro, I got something to keep you up. That motherfucker kept me up, and you know.
It was a machine after that.
If you don't mind, who said
that's where the babies was coming from.
If you don't mind, who said that to you? Who said they got something for you to keep you up? Was it somebody from the industry or one of your friends?
It's a family member.
Oh, a family member.
It's family.
So let me go ahead and jump in here just real fast. If you listening closely, the guy in the brown hat is Matt Hoffa. As Rich Homie Quan is talking about sort of one of the darkest moments, if not the darkest moment in his life, not his career, but his life, was when he went from being blazing hot, where he was getting $120,000 a show, $60,000, $80,000 a show, to getting only about $10,000 to $12,000 a show. He said that it was a huge fall off for him and it impacted his mental health, and he had so many shows at that time, regardless of the amount the shows were paying him, that it was difficult for him to stay up. So it wasn't the music industry, right? Well, we don't know if the person was in the music industry or not, but we do know that it was a family member that introduced it to him, right? They could be one and the same, but nonetheless, it was a family member who introduced the drugs to him. And if you listen to Matt Hoffa, he cracking jokes saying that's where all the babies came from, because I believe Rich Homie Quan has maybe 5 children. I could be wrong about that. That's where all the babies came from, and you know, like I just feel like cracking jokes about stuff like that is already sitting. It's uneasy for me.
Yeah, you know, this family. I got
so
something to keep you
boom,
up.
pop the Molly.
I'm sweating.
You sweating? Is this before you was rocking with Trinidad or?
Nah, this by the same time. After like he said, I'm like, what the matter is? Let me see what they do. They ain't sweat for real. You know what I'm saying? Cause they go like, you know, like I'm telling you, like this being real. This around the time I started doing it. You know what I mean? Cause I wasn't taking them at first. Then, I would take them out of bro them there every day, man. And I knew like my attitude was saying I'm bucking on my mama. You know what I'm saying? I ain't showing up to family events, like. Yeah. I just the money, cause I felt like, what I was like, mama, all right, mama, it's all good. I'm seeing something. I'm seeing like, it was a thought. I knew I was lost in the sauce. Like, if I
when you coming down off the shit, it's like,
yeah, like
you're like, I don't want to talk to anyone.
Anyone, do you know that? So then I'm already got this cloud on my head.
The lights. You're like Smeagol coming down on that shit.
I went and bought black curtains all in the house. That's how I knew I was tripping, bro. I did not want the sun to come up, bro.
The facts.
I brought, it was black curtains
The
all
sun
in the
brought
house.
the shame.
Listen,
It did. It brought the shame, my nigga.
I was popping them off before I brushed my teeth, bro. Like that, I was starting my day. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you really supposed to eat, nigga. And I fuck that. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna take the Molly then eat. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes you shit. You know what I mean?
Man,
you got the pill
listen, you can hear your brain
Listen, man.
sizzling.
But guess what, though?
Sizzling.
I was making some dope ass music on it, though. I can tell you that. That motherfucker had my brain
don't
going.
do
Yeah.
that.
I can't. I got to be honest.
No. Look.
But guess what, though?
No. You might not.
Yeah, exactly. Because I
wanna
can tell
think
you
about
different.
that.
I already know you don't steal, you don't rock, so you don't know nothing about nobody.
The association of great musicians and drugs is not a new thing, bro.
But that's not what he's shaking his head for. Before that man even responds, that's the guy in the black shirt here is the person that when I watched this clip before, it was like, I'm gonna just stop it early, I'm gonna just react to the rest of it on my podcast. So I don't even have to know everything he's gonna say here. But he's the only one that has the most sane thought pattern here to me, because it's not about acknowledging the fact that a lot of our greats in the music industry has made great music when they were high, when they were on drugs. Okay, we understand that. Here's the bigger question though, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Right? What's the risk to reward factor here? What's the risk to reward ratio here? Is it worth it in the long run? Are you going to be dealing with drug addiction for the rest of your life? Is it going to impact your family? Is it going to impact your health? Right? Your mental state? Is it going to become a crutch? Most times the answer to this is going to be yes. It's going to do all of those things. It's going to impact your family. It's going to impact your life beyond your career, in real life, not just in your the music industry. So when you're sitting there cracking jokes in your math hoffa and you're saying, oh, this is where the great music came from, and I just don't want to, you can hear your brain sizzling. Why laugh about that? I just think when we talk about these sorts of things, we got to approach it differently, bro. We have to have a different mindset. We got to say, all right, cool, we understand that it's not even about judging you, rich homie, but this is a moment in time since you have all the clout, and a lot of people are going to click on this video because we're interviewing you. Let's take this time to say, don't do drugs. Stay away from drugs as much as you can, including over-the-counter drugs as much as you can, by the way. Not just illegal drugs, legal drugs, as much as you can. And when you take legal drugs, if you feel like you absolutely have to because of injury or whatever it may be, take what has been prescribed by the doctor and nothing more. That's what I would say.
No,
It's not a new thing.
That would never be what I would say, but I think about some of my favorites that I've lost to drugs.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I don't, and I also see working with artists, I see when that becomes a crutch. I see when you start getting the guys who can't brush their teeth without doing something. They don't want to go on stage, they don't want to go in the studio. You're sitting there trying to work with them. They're like, let me just do this one more thing, and then I'm gonna come back in and work, and that shit just starts looking like a crutch, and it never,
becomes a crutch.
It never ends. It rarely ends well. Like that last pill is never that last thing they take, the last hit, the last bump, the last pill, the last drink. It never is. When I'm there at that point, I'm always like, fuck, I hope you make it. Like the shakes and the recovery.
Yeah, like that shit hell.
And then you gotta go talk to all the people who you shitted on and did dirty.
Yeah, and you knew you was wrong. You know, man ain't touched nobody now like 5 years, bro. That's 5 years, bro. That's what I'm saying. Because when I first started making that music, I didn't know Miley. You feel me? So I had to get back just to myself. Like, this ain't, you ain't going out like that, little bro.
He called it. He said that he hoped that when people he know in his life, when the drugs become a crutch, he said, man, I hope this last little pill, this last little sip, this last little bump, this last little shoot up, I hope this is not the one to take you out. I hope you make it through this one. And Rich Homie Quan said that he hadn't been on Molly in 5 years, and they applauded him, including Math Hoffa. I got to give credit where credit is due. But clearly, either that wasn't true or he relapsed, which once again is why you got to approach these conversations with the utmost, sincerity. Like, you have to be super serious about this stuff because this is people in real life. Now, I'm not going to play the 911 call in its entirety out of respect for the family, but also out of annoyance for the 911 operator. I feel like they weren't acting like it was a time-sensitive issue. Still conflicted about how the wife, the girlfriend, the baby mama, whoever she is on the phone, how she started off the phone call and didn't really seem like she was, I don't know, like, because everybody's different, so I'm not gonna, it's not about attacking her, because she did panic at the end of the phone call. I will link the link to that full 911 call in the description of this video. But this is just a video to say, man, don't do drugs. Please don't encourage drugs. Hip-hop culture, the black community, but specifically hip-hop culture, we are really big on encouraging these things. And this is the result. We keep losing people. We keep losing artists to drugs. Everything is in a conspiracy. I pray for those. I pray for you. I pray for you if you're dealing with addiction. If you know someone that's dealing with addiction, this is a great opportunity to say why it's not a good idea to do it. And to seek help. Seek professional help. Hop in the comment section, man, and give me your thoughts on this video. Once again, rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan, man. Another life gone too soon at 34 years old.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.